Live? So, okay, good morning to all, and we have to start this conference now. President of the University of Liberia, Professor Reverend Dr. Julius Nelson Jr., Professor Dr. Moses Morgunzina, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Halley, Head of the Entrance Committee, Associate Professor Moses Henning, Head of the Center for Testing and Evaluation, his Deputy Calvin Gay, who's here present, members of the full estate, those following online, ladies and gentlemen, on the call. I want to say welcome to this press conference for the release of the first entrance results of 2022, the University of Liberia. On Thursday, the 8th of September 2022, at this time. Today, we are hopefully going to make this very short. The President will start us with a brief statement, after which the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Moses Zina, will lead us into the technical details of the result. Today's event is being broadcast by our own university radio station, Lux FM 16.5, and it's also trending live on all of our university's platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So for those following, you may be aware that we started this process sometime in March with registration, and the actual entrance process started on the 21st of June with the undergraduate digital entrance exam, and it was concluded on the 16th of July with the paper-based undergraduate exam. It has been a long wait, so I don't intend to hold you any longer. At this juncture, I would like to call on the President of the University of Liberia, Professor Reverend Dr. Julius Nelson, to start the process.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Moses Morgunzina, my friend, colleague, and our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ezekiel Halley, the Dean of our School of Pharmacy and Chairman of the Testing Committee here at the University, Professor Moses Henning, the Executive Director of the Testing Center, his Deputy, Professor Calvin Gay, wonderful people here at the University, faculty and staff, students, members of the Fourth Estate, our friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring you greetings of shalom, greetings of peace from the administrator, faculty, staff, and students of the University of Liberia. Today, we bring you the official results of the first entrance and placement exam and our aptitude tests of 2022 administered from June 21st to July 16, 2022, which nearly 14,000 candidates participated undergraduate, professional, and graduate schools together. As managers and administrators of this premier public higher institution of learning, we are always pleased to see the continuous demonstration of desires by our young people and Liberians of varying demography to attain higher education and build their capacities here at the University of Liberia. For the payment of tuition and fees is stay below 10%. Many students of the graduate and professional schools have huge tuition arrears, while undergraduate students are generally reluctant to pay their registration fee. We are appalled at this, at the University of Liberia cannot meet the high expectations of providing quality education to a rapidly growing student population without a sense of obligation on the part of our students to pay their tuition for the graduate and professional school and fees for the undergraduate schools on time. Considering the aforementioned, the university administration has decided to take some actions to complement existing policies and encourage the payment compliance. One, the digital enrollment platform is being tweaked to automatically remove students who are in arrears at the end of the semester. Two, undergraduate students will not be allowed to sit for their final exam without registration complete confirmation, which is the requirement for student identification cards. Therefore, we are strongly appealing to all of our students, men and women of the University of Liberia, undergraduate, professional, and graduate students to joyfully and lovingly pay their registration and tuition fees using the various banking options we have provided as soon as possible. Thank you, men and women of the university, for your cooperation, for your understanding, for your support, and for your partnership in this exercise for education here at the University of Liberia. The first entrance and placement exam and our aptitude test of 2022 tap on the success of our digitization and decentralization process and roll out a digital entrance at the undergraduate level for the first time in the Republic of Liberia at the university. All of these exercises, in conjunction with the free tuition policy, have improved access to higher education for Liberians of all walks of life, regardless of wherever they live in the Republic of Liberia. At this juncture, I'm pleased to invite Professor Dr. Moses Moreau Zena, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, to lead his team in presenting to us the actual numbers beyond the results. Thank you very much, Professor Zena. You are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to introduce to our colleagues from the Fook Estate and other UL family members here. Heading this team is Associate Professor Ezekiel Halley. Please stand, Ezekiel. He is the chair of the Testing and Evaluation Committee of the University of Liberia. Assisted by our Executive Director for Testing and Evaluation Center, Assistant Professor Moses Hinen, and his able team here. Mr. President, I just want to say thank you very much for the support in the midst of very difficult fiscal stress. You've been able to lead this process. I'm happy that as a state-owned university, we are doing our best to live up to our expectations to ensure that we build the capacity of the human resources we need to develop our mother country, Liberia. So at this moment, I will turn it over to the technical team. First, I will let the chair of the committee make a few remarks. Then the executive director will give the formal results of the 2022 first round of our entrance and aptitude test. Dean Halley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President and members of the Fook Estate, our dynamic president. You are all welcome. In March this year, 2022, this team, the testing committee, was formulated, appointed by the president of the university, a 17-man committee that encompasses all integrated and professional individuals, most especially so those units and schools that are responsible to administer entrance exam every year. Right after our appointment, we started several meetings, and these meetings appropriately led us to the successful conduct of the 2022 first entrance of the university. To improve the entrance exam result, at the University of Liberia, this time around, we have decided to develop a strategic plan. And this plan is to actually enable the university to administer entrance exam continuously, not only a specific day or 2 days in the semester, but it could even be a walk-in exam when the candidate has applied for it. And so the strategic plan is on the way. Very soon will be presented to the faculty, to the administration for endorsement. Once it is completed, as I already said, that will be a smooth and continuous exam administration. It is our intention that, unlike previous committees, this particular 2022 committee and onward, as long as we remain as a committee of integrity, we'll see that the University of Liberia entrance will be very much straight as it should be. And under this committee, as you already heard from the president, that this is the first time that the undergraduate entrance had been administered online, and our undergraduate students have started taking it on the 21st of June. Not to bore you so much, I'll now turn to our Executive Director of the Testing Center for Evaluation for the details of the result. Thank you very much.
The president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Zina, my immediate boss, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Associate Professor, Assistant Professor Carlos, Professor Holly, Head of the University of Liberia Testing Community, my colleagues from the Testing Center, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure.
On Wednesday, July 13, the center began the University of due to some benefits that were not real, that the business environment office observed, the number was reduced by 42 candidates who had fake deposit slips. And so candidates whose results were analyzed at 12,296. Of that number, 41.09% made a regular pass, 7.69% made a provisional pass, whereas 51.21% of the candidates were unsuccessful. Regular pass candidates are those candidates who score at least 50% in mathematics and at least 50% in English. And they are allowed to register up to 18 credits in their first semester. Provisional pass candidates are candidates who score less than 50% in English or less than 50% in mathematics, but their average score is at least 50%, and they are entitled to up to 13 credits. Unsuccessful, if your average is less than 50%, you are unsuccessful. Candidates that are absent are those candidates who registered for the entrance or were unable to sit for the entrance. Out of the regular pass candidates that constitute 5,053, 2,415 of them some candidates are still in 12th grade, some are already high school graduates, whereas there are candidates who are in other universities but have the desire to enroll at the University of Liberia. So of the current 12 graders that sat the test, 802 of them
were successful, making up 15.87%. The high school graduates, 4,181, constituting 82.74%. Students from other universities, 70 of them are successful, making up 1.39%. We also look at the results from which category of school they are from: community schools, company schools, faith-based schools, private schools, and the government institutions. So 37 persons were successful in the community schools, 116 candidates from the company school, faith-based school, 1,820, private school, 2,227, and the public school, 853. We will continue with a presentation on the result of the graduate and professional school that will be done by Able David, Assistant Professor Campbell.
Continuation of the UL First Aptitude Test 2022 for graduate and professional school. Key findings: a total of 1,058 candidates registered for the graduate and professional school aptitude test. Of this total, 140 candidates sat the aptitude test. For the graduate school, we had 491 candidates registered, 491 candidates sat the test. For the law school, 315 candidates registered, 300 candidates sat the test. For the medical school, we had 212 candidates registered, 209 candidates sat the test. For the School of Pharmacy, we have 40 candidates registered, 40 candidates sat the test. Data analysis by school, skill used for grading the law school. Candidates must score the average of 50% when it's essay and multiple choice school are combined. For this skill, for the law school, we have 257 candidates unsuccessful, 43 candidates successful, 15 candidates absent. For our graduate school data analysis, we use our skill of 40% average when we combine the mathematics score and the English score on the test. The result shows that 240 candidates were unsuccessful, 240 candidates were successful, and 11 candidates absent. The graduate school was also categorized based on the program of intent. For the GPED, we have 37 candidates successful. The IBB, 12 successful candidates. The KARCT, 20 successful candidates. The MBA, 70 successful candidates. The MESC, 30 successful candidates. The MPA, 18 successful candidates. The MPH, 40 successful candidates, and the REPL, which is the regional planning, 13 successful candidates. Medical school data analysis. For a candidate to be considered successful on our first round of entrance 2022 to be admitted in the medical school, the candidate must score 60% or above in his science test and 60% or above in his English exam. The result shows that 169 candidates were unsuccessful, 40 candidates successful, 3 candidates absent. For the School of Pharmacy, we have our skill of 50% or above in science, 50% or above in English. The result also shows that in the division of male-female category, unsuccessful 14 female, and 17 male unsuccessful. In the successful category, 2 female and 7 male, constituting 9 successful candidates from the School of Pharmacy. Summary of graduate and professional school results. We have law school, 300 sat our test, 43 successful candidates, 257 unsuccessful candidates. Graduate school, 480 candidates sat our test, 240 successful, 240 unsuccessful. Medical school, 209 candidates sat our test, 40 successful candidates, 169 unsuccessful candidates. School of Pharmacy, 40 candidates sat our test, 9 successful candidates, 31 unsuccessful candidates. Mr. President, Honorable Vice President for Academic Affairs, our dynamic chairman of the testing committee, Dean Halley, my own boss, Honorable Sir Hinen, assistant professor, and members of our testing team, members of the book estate. This is the UL First Entrance 2022 results.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Zina, Dean Halley, Prof. Hinen, Prof. Gay, for bringing to our people the results of our first entrance exam.
Okay, you have heard the results and you heard previously a brief statement from the president of the University of Liberia. It's now your turn to take the stage. You can ask your questions, hopefully in the context of our presentation here today. And you can ask up to 3 questions, then we address each take 2 or 3 sets. We don't want to stay too long here. We have other meetings afterwards. So we can start the Q&A process. Your name, the institution, and then straight to your point.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Orita Bolo. I represent for Everyone's Radio in that of in Nigeria. I want to know what's the number of total students that failed for the undergraduate student. The undergraduate student, the total number of students that failed.
Yeah, 6,000. 6,000.
All right. Yeah, I want us to take a batch of 3, then we address all the. Yeah, the next. Yes.
The president spoke about the decline in terms of students' registration. I want to know if this continues. That's most of the time. What do you think will happen at the university in terms of effective teaching, especially the maintenance of staff or instructors?
Okay. Third question, then we go for answers. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Steve Filakia. I would like to know the overall status of the test. For example, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether it was completely.
Okay, we can go starting with elected director. One question was for you and then the president.
All right, the first question was how many candidates for the undergraduate field? So the exact figure is 6,203 unsuccessful candidates. Was the test good? Well, from the figure, the test was good because people who were determined to make a pass made a pass. The reason is when we are registering our candidates, we give you the pass entry open. This is that we administer to 12,786. We have 15,000 tokens available. Meaning that candidates that will be registering for second entrance will have available to them 15,000 booklets free of charge to know how the next test will look like. And that was done for this test that we administered. Test that was administered 2021. We had around 16,000 booklets again available for this year plan so that they will see the test. So we say based on the result, based on the result, the test.
On the question of whether the decline in student registration, no, the student registration to get billed and be in the system is that on the 1,600. What I was referring to is the payment or registration complete. You got for the 1,600 students go through the system and they are billed, but only 1,800 or 2,000 people pay, then that's a problem. For we to consider you a current student at the university, you must have registration complete. And when you have registration complete, then you can go and take your student ID card. So far, where we are now, we are at 10% in the payment by the undergraduate student. We also have written a letter to each of our professional and graduate students who owe the university. Pay your arrears, bring your current payment according to the system currently. For the current school year, you pay 15% of your registration fee and 35% of the total cost of your tuition in the graduate and professional school. By midterm, you pay the other 35%. By the final exam, you pay the 30%. We have written all of them, and we are tweaking the system, so by the time we get to the end of this semester, you may not be able to start a new school year because you are owing the university. We are making this announcement now because we know Liberia is a small place. We are all connected. There are those who are sponsoring the students who are giving them money, but they have refused to pay the money to the university. When we start taking the action and dropping students from the university, then the whole route will be, why are you dropping the students? Oh yeah, we'll be dropping them because they have now paid to the university and we need the money. If I tell you, for example, the amount of arrears for the graduate professional school, it will scare you out. But we need that money. And that is why I'm making this loving appeal. That is why I'm saying I want them to pay, I'm appealing to them to pay joyfully and lovingly because we want to give them the knowledge. But we can't continue giving you knowledge and you don't want to pay for it. Graduate and professional school is not massacre. You're a professional, you want graduate education, you want drink from the fountain of our faculty and scholars, then pay for it. And we'll do the best we can. So we are rating all of them in the graduate professional school and appealing to them, please pay your arrears, please bring your current fees up to date or to go forward in that process.
Just a follow-up, please.
Yeah, let's take this question.
Yeah, so what I was talking about is that the low payment of our students, can we say this has the tendency of making the university, maybe the instructors, to put stop to teaching because I believe it depends on the fees or the registration from students.
No, you see, the university is a government-run institution. Let me tell you, joyfully, that all of us who are employed at the university, we are paid by the government of Liberia. And you need to know also, when the government start paying in this republic, in the first 5 groups that are paid, the University of Liberia is included. However, there are other things we have to do. As you grow the student enrollment, you need more faculty, you need more staff, you need more facilities. And so when the salary comes, it goes directly to the employees, but with the expansion of more students, we need additional facility. We need to get more faculty members. If, for example, in our English and mathematics department, we must service more than 6,000 students every semester, then we need more English teachers and more math teachers. We can't do that with the current faculty role we got. We must do that increase. So if you pay that, it allows us to take part of the operations of the university. Because yet the government do the salary for our employees, and so that our teacher will continue to teach. But we have to keep appealing to the men and women of the university. You cannot call yourself a university student when you are not current or you don't have registration complete. It is registration complete that qualifies you to call yourself a current student of the University of Liberia.
Follow up to that question. How much is the
The arrears over the past time is 1.4 million United States dollars.
For the registration of the current and undergraduate.
Undergraduate is between 2,500 Liberian dollars and 3,000 Liberian dollars. You want to put it in US, $14.85 or round it up to $15 for a whole semester for undergraduate students at the University of Liberia. I know you wonderful members to the press. It less than club beer money for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when you drink club beer, it will be more than 3,000 Liberian dollars. And that is why I'm appealing to the men and women of the university, especially so the undergraduate student. Hey guys, pay the small thing. Let's keep running the university for you to be a current student. Because by the time you get to exam, those we are appealing to the faculty to show your registration complete or your student ID card before you do the exam. A hint to the wise is quite sufficient.
Mr. President, is the free tuition fee condition working for you? It is okay.
Yes, it is working for me. How do I know? Before I became president, I was the dean of students here at the University of Liberia. We had to run beyond 300 sponsors and supporters from all over the country who all were waiting for the Ministry of Finance to pay them before they pay the university. Today, I don't have to run beyond 300%. I will hold discussion with the Ministry of Finance. We get the understanding. I get my check, we run the school, and we move from there. So if I don't have to run beyond 300%, waiting for the Ministry of Finance to pay the university and have to run beyond 1%, that is better. But there are other implications. There are some students who are here who are refusing to graduate soon. They do one code over and over and say possible in this exercise to tweak it. If you give it the scholarship tuition free and you fail, that when you register the next time, then you pay for it. Those kind of responsibility, those kind of tweaking will change the whole dynamics of the tuition free policy. But right now, I don't have to run beyond 300%. I just get to negotiate with the Ministry of Finance and need to know we've been receiving that funding in other discussion. It come at different period, but this time we only have to run beyond the Ministry of Finance and not 300 big people in the Republic who sometimes we have to go through. If I show you that the arrears for the system before the tuition-free policy, just from the student different group, we have over 48 million Liberian dollars in arrears because people promising they could not pay. So for those of us who are managers here, there's pros and cons for the free tuition policy vis-a-vis when students were paying. And you ask us that have to write letters, run beyond legislators, run beyond ministries or individuals, county caucuses. We don't have that opportunity to do that this time. We just have to negotiate with the Ministry of Finance to tell them $4 per credit hour. There are 15,000 students or 18,000 students. We do the calculation, first semester amount, second semester amount. We liaise with the Ministry of Finance. We get the resources to do the work of the university, and we don't spend extra time trying to find people who agree to sponsor students at the University of Liberia. But for the graduate professional school, the tuition-free policy don't affect that. So when you want graduate education or professional education, then you got to be ready to pay for it before you ask to go for it. And that is why we are appealing to those who are old the university, hurry up, clear your arrears, bring your current bill up to speed, and then we'll have no problem in running the University of Liberia.
Okay, we can take 2 more questions. If there are. Okay, then I think we are exhausted. One last from you, then we also.
Yeah, Sylvester is here.
Yeah.
I want to know, will there be a second round of entries for this year?
Yeah, there will be a second entrance and placement exam and aptitude test. The testing center or the committee will make that announcement in the next week or 2. But there will be a second entrance exam, and the threshold that was set for all the different programs will be the same threshold, because we believe we need to give some other young people the second chance for this year. And those who are now passing in our result will come in at the beginning of the next academic year that starts in March. We hope we can change that formula. We are discussing how we're going to change that process. But for now, yes, there will be a second entry exam, and the testing committee, there will be the official announcement on the university website or other areas that will let our people know when and where will be the second entry exam.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to ask the executive director to provide preliminary information on that, because I think they already have some dates as to when the second process starts.
Yes, okay, we, in consultation with the testing community, in our last meeting, we agreed that the second entry registration will start on the 12th of September and it will end on the 22nd of October. And the second entrance will be administered on the 5th of November 2020.
Thank you. Thank you.
And finally, before we, I think we are done with questions now. Before we, still have a question?
Yeah.
All right, so we give the female a chance.
You will leave up and post or children. When are you releasing the news of the students?
Okay, that was what I was just about to say. Thank you. Okay, the University Relations Department will be releasing the result on all of our platforms an hour after the end of this conference. Everything is set and ready. We are in the digital era, so we will not hold any result, waiting on the paper-based version of the result coming. So an hour after here, you go online, you check your Facebook pages, whatever you can get in touch with the University of Liberia, just check there, the results will be there. So
It's good to add that as we move forward to the future, the university digitizing the exam. And when you digitize the exam, as you are leaving the exam hall, you have the tentative result before you. There will be no discussion, you know what the threshold is. If we say it is 60, 60, or the average of 50, as you are leaving the exam hall, you see the result. There where we are going. So digitize the undergraduate, professional, and graduate school exam here at the University of Liberia. There will be no need to wait. As soon as the exam finish, in less than 2 or 3 weeks, we have the result. You already talking about rolling exam. As you take it, you get your result, and then you work at the formalities to enter the school. There where we are going. We're not there yet, but we'll get there very, very soon.
okay, on that note, those in Radio Land, viewers online, I want to say thank you for following this very important conference. We will be interacting with you very soon with additional announcement relative to the second entrance. An hour from now, as I said, the results will be available online, and early next week we'll have our special edition of the University of Liberia campus review on our campus here for those who want hard copy of the results. For the actual results will be available today online. On that note, I want to say thank you. I'm Thomas Kaya, Director of University Relations. Thank you for following.
Thank you so much, members of the board. Thank you.